Hey guys, this is Brandon. Just want to let you know that there's a few audio issues in the video that you're about to watch, mainly with my voiceover. Without going into details, been having some issues with my computer, working on getting them resolved. This video, sadly, I got it as corrected as I could, but there will be places where the audio with my voiceover kind of skips and jumps. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can enjoy the video anyways. Hello, all of you Vainglorious, you wonderful people. This is the Dinka Blista, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This and the next vehicle both tied this week with 8 votes, and you can vote for the vehicles that you want to see by clicking on the link in the description down below. I'm going to line up the the Dinka on the start line, and look at that torque steer. That is one of the things that Rockstar got very right on this car, because these little front-wheel drive hot hatches are notorious for torque steer. They're also notorious for having engines that rev and sound like they're going incredibly fast, but you're not actually really going anywhere all that quickly, which is the case with this, because if you listen to this little engine, it just sounds like you're just moving a bajillion miles an hour, when in reality we're going about 12. So lots of fun there. But other than that, it's a good car. I like this car. I have it on my second character, so I don't get to drive it all that often because I don't play on my second character all that often. He's more for kind of car collecting than he is for everyday gameplay, which is why he's like 200 and some odd levels below my other character. But this is one of the earliest cars that I got that when I finally had like my core collection completed, and we started getting more space, I'm like, what do I need now? And this was one of the first cars that I picked up off the streets. And I've had this car for a long time. I actually can't remember how long ago I got it. However, we are beginning to see some signs of struggling here. Not the most powerful little compact, if we're honest. Just barely made it up that section. And you can see that it does have enough power. I guess, honestly, it's probably not that it has enough power to spin the wheels. I think it doesn't have enough grip to keep the wheels from spinning. And so the front wheels just start spinning on me. And then once I do get grip, in a lot of places it doesn't have power to keep it going. But you can see back there, I was just struggling to get those front wheels to just find somewhere that they could bite in and grip to pull this car up the mountain. And again, we're going to run into that. And of course, as Lester calls, odd, Lester, why are you calling? But the problem is those wheels start spinning this, and so the drive wheels, if they're spinning, I also don't have any steering. The car just kind of tracks back and forth with its own little goal in mind there. You can see it's constant steering input, trying to keep the thing going straight, or at least in the direction I want it to go, while those wheels spin. It makes this a very difficult climb up. We're already at 2.5 minutes. We should be way higher than this right now for a good run. So obviously the Blista is going to get kind of a not good time. But hey, this is surprisingly the first compact that I've ever tested for Will It Off-Road. I was putting the numbers into the spreadsheet, which you can check the results of all the Will It Off-Road testing. There's a link. There's actually 2 links in the description. The first one is to go vote, and then the next one below that is to go see the results for every vehicle that I've tested. We're up to like 142, 143 now, which is quite a few. Plus, there are the results for the snow testing, which this thing did get tested in the snow, so you can compare it, how it did in the snow versus how it did here on Nice Drive Pavement. Oh, this really steep bit. It just can't find the traction. You can see because of how much backfiring is taking place there. I am just constantly adjusting the throttle, trying to find a place that will get grip while also keeping it moving forward. And, well, there's no place that can find grip, but I kept it moving forward, so there we go. Hey, quick walk down to Nostalgia Lane. Whoever's on the Blista was a minivan. Yeah, I'm currently playing through GTA 3 on my channel in my Looking Back series, and the Blista is a minivan. Look at this thing just bob and weave across there. All right, we are finally up. 4 minutes, 7 seconds flat. Quite leisurely. Will it off-road? Yeah, it'll do it, but it's not a lot of fun. definitely something that you should keep down on the streets. But that means we now have to find out how it does going back down the mountain in a controlled descent. Should do a little bit better since those front wheels aren't going to have to really do much more than braking in this one. However, just right here at the beginning, ooh, getting to a little bit, almost flips over on me. Not a good thing, but it didn't, so we'll just keep pressing forward. We have pretty decent brakes on the Blista. I keep wanting to call it, I don't know why, but I keep wanting to call it a combination of Dinka and Blista. My brain just can't wrap around two separate words today. But we have good brakes on this car, so we shouldn't get into too much trouble. About the only things that could really come into play would be a short wheelbase, causing it to want to kick up on some of the jumps. And like we saw up at the very top, it'll want to occasionally get up on two wheels and want to start rolling over. So gotta be careful with that, but other than that, it shouldn't be too terribly bad. Don't have to really get too heavy on the throttle. What I am worried about is it's very overcast, and I'm worried that it's going to start raining on this downhill descent. Of course, the fact that I'm recording it means it probably doesn't until I get to the very bottom. I honestly can't remember. I edited this video together quite some time ago, and now I'm recording the voiceover at a much later date. So yeah, I looks like it's going to rain though. It really does. As my phone rings. Sorry about that. Don't know if it actually got picked up on the microphone or not. Oh, hiker down. Been a while since we've caught a hiker. And swoop over that first jump quite nicely. Actually, that wasn't the first jump. That was like our second or third. Just trying to figure out who was just calling me. But they can wait. They can wait. Another jump. Kind of bumpy on the landing, but not too terribly bad. But it's staying nice and composed. I mean, there's been no real major issues until now. And there's where the lightweight and what I was talking about with the short wheelbase and everything, it came into play, finally caused a bit of a problem, and the car spun around. What are you going to do? At least it's not a minivan. So, coming down to our last little bit of trail here, the back end, getting a little squirrely on me. Kind of got saved by the embankment of dirt there, honestly. Past the tree of mini crashes. Oh, just barely brushed up against it, but didn't actually crash into it. So that's a good thing. Yep, there's the rain. I knew it looked like it was about to start raining at any moment, and sure enough. Okay, we're going to take a shortcut down to the asphalt. Okay, sure, whatever. And now that it's raining, this is going to be a little bit difficult to get this thing guided all the way in. This car does love to spin around. It really, really does. But we are down 3 minutes, 1 second, almost 2 seconds. So let's take it back to the top of Mount Chiliad and fling it off the top now that the rain has stopped and everything's dried up. Now let's see as it drags itself off. The front wheel drive cars always crack me up on this because, you know, their drive wheels, I could park it so close to the edge, the drive wheels don't have a whole lot of time to get the car moving before it starts falling. So they kind of just all slide off the top there. Always cracks me up. But wow, this thing's already taken a beating. We've already lost the rear bumper, if not more parts. Can't quite tell from this angle. Oh, yep, just rear bumper so far. That's kind of surprising. Lots of windows are gone. And since this car has been in the game since launch, then of course it has a pretty good, oh, there goes the door, has a pretty good damage model in the game. So we should actually see, we are seeing, you know, some A pillars and B pillars and C pillars collapsing and actual body panels denting and crushing in. So that always adds to the realism of the game, and I like it. I wish they'd spend more time on DLC cars. Maybe give us a few less cars and increase the amount of attention to detail. I mean, come on, Rockstar, you're a $1 billion company. Surely you can afford a couple more developers and artists to do this stuff. Come on. Anyway, enough of that. We'll get back to that soapbox later on with our next vehicle, the one you're probably all here to see anyway. So through our tunnel here, and we're going to come up and around the wood pile. Oh, a little late on the braking and into a tree. but we are down 1 minute, 39 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage on the Blista. All the windows and most of the lights are gone. The left fender, both doors, and the rear bumper are gone. It has severe body damage and bent wheels, so it took quite a beating. Look at that nose. But that brings us to the next vehicle, the Dewbauchee Vagner. Again, this vehicle tied for votes with the Blista. They both came in with 8 votes, and coming in the next week or two, we're going to have a vehicle with 2,000 votes. You can go vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in Will It Off-Road by clicking on the link in the description down below. You can vote for whatever vehicle in the game you want, as many times as you want. And if you're a Patreon supporter at the $5 a month pledge or higher, your votes count double. Or if there's a car that's already been voted for and you want to say, hey, let's double those votes, you can do that too. So you can make somebody else's votes count double. So you don't even have to spend the time doing it. You can just look at the results, which I mentioned earlier. The performance testing results are. There's a link to that. I'll figure out how to make that to a sentence in a second. But there's a link to that in the description down below, so you can see not only how well these performed, but there's a tab on that spreadsheet at the very bottom that has the voting results, so that you can see what's currently in the lead. So if you want to know what vehicle it is that currently has 2,000 votes, well, you can go check right now and find out for yourself what's going to be coming. And of course, you can change that outcome by voting a whole lot. For the person who did the 1,000 votes and then got it doubled, I think he said it only took him like a total of like 2 hours to get like 2,000 votes in, because he just reloaded the page over and over and over again. Which, hey, if you've got the time, I'll feature the car. So the Vagner, lightweight, and since we're not at speed, doesn't have a whole lot going for it in the terms of traction. If I remember right, this is a car that uses a downforce multiplier, so I think it has to have speed to get traction. I don't know how much speed, but I know it has to have some. And you can see that this thing is just, yeah, struggling to keep the rear wheels from spinning. Kind of what we saw in the Blista, but in reverse now. And of course, since these are the drive wheels, it wants to spin out every time now. It just supposed to keep pushing me in the direction that the car was already headed. Ooh, almost dropped the rear end off the side of the mountain right there. That was close. Look at that. Just getting all kinds of slideways going up this mountain. But it's not making a bad time. I don't think it's going to beat our top supercars. We'll have to see once we get up there, but it'd have to be up there in about 20 seconds, and I don't think we're 20 seconds away. Oh, both of them. I think both those hikers are down, because they went falling off to either side. So, yeah, hikers down. Yeah, we're definitely not going to beat our best time, because our best time's around the 2:40 mark for supercars. So the Vagner is one of the fastest, if not, it's the fastest, I think, around the track. But for off-roading, definitely not even gonna break into the top 10, I don't think. I don't even think it's gonna break into the top 10 cars overall in the game at this point. Look at that back end just struggling to find grip. There we go. We are up 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Makes it the 11th fastest supercar. Will it off-road? Yeah, sure it will. But it's only the 34th fastest overall in everything we've tested. Which, out of 140 cars, that's, only in the top 25%. So that's not the best, but, whatever. Let's take it for a controlled descent back down Mount Chiliad and see what we can get here. Since the car is lightweight and wants to bounce around, I am taking it a little bit easy until we get down here on the trail. There we go. And now we just have to rely on brakes. Brakes and gravity. Being very careful on the throttle, because this car does just launch right off the start. It has tons and tons and tons of low end power to get it going, which is good. Quick acceleration is what you want in a supercar. But when you're trying to drive it down a mountain, you don't want it lurching forward on you. So being really careful. But it is a very, very beautiful car. I think one of the best looking cars, honestly, as far as the exotic supercars or even hypercars that Rockstar has done for the game. Oh, got a little far to the side. Uh-oh, this could be bad. This could be very bad. Oh, that rock. That rock saved us, and I managed to get back on the trail. Okay, we'll call that a shortcut. That was kind of touch and go there for a minute. Over our first little jump. Not the most beautiful landing, if we have to be honest about it. Have to try to do a little bit better on the next one, but again, this car is so light that it's really tough to use its mass to really point it in a direction and keep it going there. It just wants to kind of go wherever it fancies and whenever it fancies. So, oh, gosh, there we go. That jump was much better, but still, look at every little bump is really wanting to kick this car around. Let's see how we do on this jump here, and oh, that one was much better. Very composed, very poised landing. That's what we like to see. So it's making its control descent very quick as my voice squeaks. Down our last bit of straight path here before we start getting back into twisty stuff. Make a slight uphill climb for our final bit of dirt here. Coming up to the tree of mini crashes, and once again it is denied a victim. Looks like, oh, for a minute I thought I had a broken window, but it was just the way the sun was reflecting off the side there. So down on the asphalt, nearly spun it out. Nearly spun out again. There we go. Get back under control. This is definitely a car you need some speed in to really take advantage of the grip that it has. Once you've got that speed, it has a lot of grip. But we are down in our control descent. 2 minutes, 37 seconds. So once again, we're going to go back up to the top of Mount Chiliad, fling it off the side, and see what's what. And unlike the Blista that we tested earlier, well, this car is, well, we all know, it's fairly new to the game, so it does not have a very good damage model in the game, which is sad. I don't even think body parts can fall off of this car. Maybe the doors can, and it can, obviously, since we just busted the front windshield, the windows can break, but I think that's going to be it. Lights and windows, and maybe a door or two, which it's just disappointing. And frankly, I feel it's neglectful on Rockstar's part. They can do better. There's proof in the game that they can do better. It's just, you know, at this point, GTA Online is being developed to a budget, not developed to a level of quality, and it shows. When budget is the only thing you care about, sacrifices are made, and things get neglected, which we'll see that reflected on the damage screen in just a minute. I'll just finally document my thoughts on it. But we're making good time down. It's surprisingly composed and easy to control, despite the fact that I just go full throttle all the way down through these bits. Down here in the really bumpy parts, a lot of the lightweight cars really struggle. Vagner's no exception, though it is doing a little bit better than a lot of the other ones do. I'm able to get it back under control easier, I guess. But oh, we came up at the wrong angle, managed to roll it, and we are down in 1 minute, 30 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage on the Vagner. We've got the windshield and rear window gone, one headlight's gone, and like we mentioned, neglect from the developers of $1 billion company, and sadly neglect from a YouTuber, because I forgot to do my spin around shot, and so you're just going to have to stare at the back end of the car. Anyways, guys, don't forget to vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in Will It Offroad, and until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.